Hey guys, today you're going to do a cloning WebQuest, and it looks like there's a lot going on, but there isn't. It says it's 5 pages if you look at my document here, but there's a lot of spaces in there. You're going to be going to this website up here at the top, and this is a website that you have actually went to before. Let me see if I click over here. It looks like this, and last time we were here, I believe we did the stem cell stuff. So today it says go to the website, then scroll down and click on cloning and open the link for the sections listed below. So you're going to come over here. This is the main page that it will bring you to whenever you log in or whenever you go to that website. You hit cloning. And most of the sections are going to be, right over here. So the first one we're doing is what is cloning? You're going to compare and contrast the following methods of cloning. So if I click on that, scroll down a little bit, it says how is cloning done? Here's the first kind, artificial embryo twinning, and the second one is somatic cell nuclear transfer. So you are going to be listing the similarities and the differences between the two of these. So you're going to read those couple paragraphs for each one, tell me what's the same about them, and tell me what is different about them. Scrolling on down, it talks about SCNT. How does it differ from the natural way of making an embryo? And that's actually the big question right here as well. So you're going to find that answer down in this part here. And who is Dolly is the last question on here. And you probably heard about Dolly before. She was that sheep that they were able to clone. She was one of the first clones that they ever made. And that one's actually up here. So it's kind of right before the embryo twinning stuff. It talks about Dolly the sheep. She was the first clone from a somatic cell, which was a big deal because somatic cells are not egg or sperm cells. They're like a regular skin cell. The next section you're going to go to is the history of cloning. So if I click back, I'm going to skip down here. It says history of cloning. What was the first organism cloned? How was it done? And in what year? So there's 3 questions in one here. We come up here, the first ever demonstration of artificial embryo twinning was done in 1885. And it looks like it was a sea urchin. So how was it done? It was done by artificial embryo twinning. It took place in 1885, and it was a sea urchin. What was the first organism to be cloned using nuclear transfer? So here we have embryo twinning in a vertebrate. The first successful nuclear transfer was a frog. The process of removing a nucleus. And obviously it'll just keep on going down here. Nuclear transfer from a differentiated cell. If you're transferring the nucleus, you are then removing it. And that would be in a frog. So we got number 8 here. How are the first cows cloned? Nuclear transfer from an embryonic cell. First mammal to be cloned from an adult somatic cell. I believe that was Dolly. Right here, first mammal created from a somatic cell. Transgenic cloned sheep were used to produce what medical protein? So this is going to talk about your sheep down here. Transgenic sheep, they're producing the factor. Oh goodness, I am so bad with reading Roman numerals. Is that a 9? I think that's a 9. Or is that an 11? That actually might be an 11. They were producing this factor in the milk. And it was supposed to be what? Engineered to make therapeutic and other useful proteins in milk for commercial uses. What is a stem cell? You guys probably know that one from the last WebQuest that we did. And in what year was the first human clone ever created? In what stage of development did it reach before it stopped growing? So if you didn't know, yeah, they actually did try to clone humans. I don't know that they still do this because it is extremely controversial. So here we got it, is that 2013, the human embryonic stem cells? Crazy things. After you get that part done, you're going to go on to why clone. So you're going to go back and you're going to click on the one right above history of cloning. It says why clone. Medical reasons for cloning. So here's cloning in medicine. List 3 reasons other than medicine. So we got this right here, reviving endangered or extinct species.
George Franks, please come to the office. George Franks, office, please.
So that would be something other than just regular cloning for medical purposes. Why is cloning extinct animals problematic? That would be in this part here as well, reviving endangered and extinct species. And some reasons a person might want to clone a human. You can clone livestock, you can clone a deceased pet. Kind of reminds me of that movie Pet Sematary, although that's bringing something back from the dead. Here's cloning humans. So you'll find that answer right in this part here about why would someone want to clone a human. The last section of the website that you're going to be using is cloning myths. So there are 5 myths listed, and you are going to tell me what each myth is about and why it's not correct. So myth 2 is carbon copies. 3 is cloning is always an artificial process. So this is the myth right here. It highlights it for you, and then you're just going to go through, quickly read that or skim over it and say, well, this is why that myth is not true. 4th myth is cloning is a new technology and cloned animals live short lives and suffer from heart problems. Unfortunately, the WebQuest doesn't end there, so you're going to be completing a Google search for the following. So you're not finding the answers to that on this website over here. You're just going to type in to Google in vitro fertilization and describe the process. Embryo twinning, SCNT, multiple ovarian embryo transfer, and artificial insemination. Then, based off of what you've read about cloning, you're going to tell me if each one of these scenarios is cloning or if it is not cloning. And you should be able to answer that based off of your answers to these questions here. So in vitro fertilization is not a form of cloning. So if you see something like that down here, you should know, oh, hey, that's not cloning. I'm going to write no to that one. All right, guys, that is it as far as this particular assignment goes. And I will talk to you later.